So hello everyone, it's Heather Cooper with Playing with Paper Crafting, and I'm here on my May online technique class, just getting ready to get started and waiting for everyone to show up, as many as can make it. So I'm just looking for my video here so that I can find everybody's comments. Hi Carol, see that you're here. So when you arrive, I've already got a croaky throat. I wonder if that has to do with the fact that I get a little nervous when I do these. Anyway, just looking to find my video. Oh, that's it. There it is. Okay. So when you get here, if you would like to just sign in and say hi so that I know you're here, then we can get started. We had a windy, blustery day here today. How are things in... Hi, Carol. How are things in Calgary? It's Calgary, right? Yes, of course, it's Calgary. Still, oh, somebody else is here. Just sign in when you arrive. So I'm just waiting for a couple more minutes to get everybody here. We're doing a black tie event today. Oh, really windy. Yeah, we had some wind here too, so maybe we sent it your way. Hopefully it blows the clouds away and we can have some sunshine. So we're having a black tie event today. We're doing all sorts of fancy black tie cards. Oh, Susan. Hi, Susan. Good. Yeah, we're doing some formal cards today for events like Father's Day and weddings or anniversaries and graduation. So I think I'm going to get everything set up for us to get started. So I'm just going to turn my camera around and get my field of vision set up, and then we'll get going. Hi, Noreen. Okay, let's just get things set up here. And start to open it up a little wider. Okay. That looks pretty good. Yeah. Okay, so the first card that we're going to do today is the Father's Day card. Now I know that men don't often just get dressed up in their tux for Father's Day, but every man looks wonderful when they're dressed up in a suit, so I just thought that would be a nice way to honor dads for Father's Day. So this will be the first pack, the first set of materials in your Father's Day, in your card pack. So we'll pull that out. And just be careful with this little pack because it's got about 6 little white buttons in it. And you don't want to lose any of those. Well, I think you could lose one of them, but you don't really want to. So we have our card base, which all we're going to do with that right now is just fold it and set it aside. Okay. There we go. So I'm just going to move it over here. And this is our tux jacket. So all we're going to do with this is add the collar. And that's going to be really hard for you to see the difference between the lapels and the actual jacket. But what you're just going to do is fit it on there. You can add glue, or you can add use glue dots to add it on, or you can even pop it up a little bit with dimensionals. I think that I'm going to add glue dots to it. So make sure I get it on the right side here. And that looks like the back side actually, because it's got wrinkles on it. So from my very worn cutting pad on my Big Shot. And I need new cutting pads badly, but they're back ordered right now. So, hello Elaine, how are you? Now at this juncture, I will just say that if you did not purchase a class pack, you could still do that. All you need to do is to fill out the form on this page, and I will send you the class pack for the price of the class, and then I will send you the link on YouTube, and so you'll still be able to do the class that way. Okay, so I'm just lining up this edge first of the lapels. Like so. Come on, baby. Don't disappoint me now. There we go. And then this edge. And that works out pretty well. And if this flips up, I think a little dot of liquid glue would work. Oh, no problem, Elaine. We haven't gotten very far. All we did was, besides putting on the lapels here, was to fold the base. So you didn't miss much. Okay. All right, so now that's ready to go. We're going to set that aside, and we're going to work on the shirt. So that's the white cardstock, and we're going to start with the collar. And we want the collar to go, so there's a wide V and a narrow V for the collar. Maybe let me put it on the black just so you can see here. So there's a narrow V and a wide V. And we want the narrow V at the top and the wide V at the bottom. Okay, if that makes sense. And basically right in the middle, like so. So I think I can add just a little bit of adhesive. Getting mine started. And this way. If there's just a really narrow join there, if they happen to break apart, don't panic, because you can always join them. I mean, just glue them on separately and it won't be a problem. No, that's not in the middle. Smooth that over a little bit. There we go. Now, there's a little bit of room to lift this up, which you'll want, because now we're going to put the placket. Isn't that what they call this thing? The placket. So that's going to come right up underneath. And we're going to glue that on like that and just snip off the excess at the bottom. Okay. How's everybody doing? Am I going too fast? Any questions? No questions so far? Okay. I'm not going to put the adhesive all the way down to the bottom. I can always add a glue dot if I need to. Okay, so I'm going to hold it like this, and I'm just going to slip it under there, and then glue that part down, and then try to make it as straight as I can. There we go. Okay, so that's the pocket. No, it shouldn't show above the V, because that's the back of the shirt and this is the front of the shirt. So that's the back collar and this is the front. And now I need my scissors. I'm just going to trim that off. Okay. And get rid of that. And now comes some of the fun. We're going to start with the buttons and then we'll put the bow tie on last. Get all my little buttons out. The buttons have a right side and a wrong side. You have to look at them carefully to see which is which. Okay, so one side is just kind of wrinkly from my cutting pad. The other side has definite button holes in it. Okay, so I'm going to use glue dots again for this. I'll just get rid of my, whoops, stuck to my fingers. Could use glue as well. I'm wondering which would be better. Oh, maybe we'll use glue dots. Okay. The thing with glue dots is that they're almost the same size as the buttons. So you have to get the buttons squarely on the glue dot, or you'll have glue dots showing behind them. Okay. Peel it off. I'm going to put one. Well, I don't need it right at the top because the bow tie is going to be there. So I'll move it a little further down. And here's another one. Got to put it squarely on the glue dot. Peel it off. A little further down. And that's the back, and that's the front. Everybody doing okay? Try to make that equal distance from the other one. I think my eye is working tonight. Here's how I'm holding, I don't know if you can see that, here's how I'm holding the roll of glue dots, and then gradually just pulling it through so I can use my finger to brace the paper against. Now I don't know, I think I can fit one more on there, and I'm not sure, I think it probably won't be seen, but if it is, it'll be there. Let's move that out of the way. That's our sentiment thing. Okay. And I did have one button left over. I'll put that aside for another time. Okay, so now we're going to bring back the jacket, and we're just going to add the jacket to the oh, I forgot the bow tie. Well, we can add that afterwards. Okay, so I think the best idea is to add the adhesive to the jacket part, just because if we try to get it, figure out where to add it to the white, we won't know exactly where that V is going to come. Come on, baby. There we go. So I'm just adding it to the V and then around the edges, like so. And this is bigger than the white, so it's going to be above the white at the top a little bit. Got it crooked here at the bottom. Tricky. There we go. That should do it. Okay, so there's the jacket. A little bit higher up there than I would have liked, but that's okay. Now we can put on the bow tie. So we'll use a dimensional for the bow tie. And it should have a right side and a wrong side too. The right side is built up a little bit around the edges. So it is a big dimension. I think I'll put the dimensionals just on either. I'll use two, put one on either side of the knot. There we go. Peel off the backings. And then we'll add that dimension, that bow tie right there. Now we can add everything to the card front, like so. And then we'll do our sentiment. So we'll just add adhesive to the white on the back. Just make sure we get that in the middle. If you're worried about centering things, then I would use liquid glue because that gives you a few more minutes to get things centered. Okay. So the jacket is almost the same length as the card front itself, as you can see. All right, now the sentiment. So the sentiment is from the Whiskey Business stamp set, which is a great one for masculine card designs. And I use the Straight Up You're the Best. So if you have this one, that's a good one for you to use. And I'm using Memento ink, which is our water-based, like the rest of our inks, black. And just want to make sure if I follow the line of the bottom, it's a little bit off on the U. I'm going to do a test stamp here. This is what I do when I'm not sure if I'm going to get my sentiments right. I do a couple of test stamps. So if I follow the line of the bottom of the rubber, like so, you can see that it's not quite straight, that the best is closer to the line. So what I need to do is angle it so that the U side is down just a little bit. Let's try another one. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. So there's it, even with the line on my grid paper, and I'm just tipping the U down a little bit, and I've got it, voila. Okay, so now I'm going to do the real thing, and that is even straight with the bottom. I'm going to tip it a little bit and stamp. See how that turns out. And it is straight. So when you've got, quite often the labels aren't quite the same as, sorry that's noisy, just getting my cleaner here. Quite often the labels aren't synchronized properly with the stamp. And so if you go by the labels, you're not going to get a straight, sentiment stamped. So I often do the test stamps just to make sure that I've got it right. Anyway, let's tuck that away for now. And we will use dimensionals for this, so we'll add some dimensionals to the back. Use 3 here. We'll start with dimensionals on this one. Any other questions from anybody? Don't be afraid to ask. That's what I'm here for. That's my job. Okay, so there's card number 1, the Father's Day card. Okay, let's tuck that away and get cleaned up, and we'll get started on our graduation card. Which is a fancy fold card. Now, we have to do some embossing with our second card. This is our fancy fold card here, and it's an angled easel card, or a diamond easel card, I guess. And this one folds flat, and this will fit into a regular envelope. Okay, but when it's opened, you might want to include a note to let people know that if you tuck it just under the sentiment, then it'll sit up like the way you see it there. Okay. Now, if you know that somebody's graduating in a different year, you can leave these off. Whoops, mine's coming off. You can leave the numbers off if you want, or you can put 20 and the 2 there, and then cut out a different number, or ask me if you want a different number. Let me know and I'll cut a different number out for you and send it along next time I have something to send along to you. But or you can just leave them off, as I say. But the gold is kind of nice on the hat. Okay, so let's get out our supplies for that one. And I have a template that I wanted to show you before we start that, just so that you can see. So it is a 4.5 by 8.5 piece of cardstock. And on the 8.5 side, make sure I'm right here. Yeah. On the 8.5 side, it is scored, like all the dotted lines are score lines. It is scored at 4 1/4 and 2 1/8. Okay, so this cuts it in half, and then that cuts this half in half. Not cuts, but scores in half. All right. Then you want to flip it around, and even though this says 6 3/8, basically that's another 2 1/8 inch from here. Or if you put it on your scoring tool, then that would be 2 1/8 from that edge. But you just want to make a mark there, and you can flip it over and make another mark there. Okay. And then you want to make 2 1/8 inch, so again halfway, this is 4 1/4, 2 1/8 inch mark right in the middle here above this score line. Okay, and then you're going to cut those two edges off so that you've got that diamond shape. This is going to be a valley fold. This is going to be a mountain fold. And I can post this picture in the event. Okay. And then you want to score probably on your trimmer. You want to line up this point and the edge of the triangle here. You want to line up those 2 points on the cutting line of your trimmer here. And then use the scoring tool, the scoring blade, not the cutting blade, the scoring blade, and just score from there to there. And then do it this way on your trimmer, and then do another scoring line along here. Okay, so you've got valley fold, mountain fold, and these are both going to be valley folds. Okay, well that's a mountain fold. And basically what you get when you've got all that done, and I did it for you, is that you get something that looks like what I've given you. Okay, so what you want to do first of all with yours is take the peak here and fold it towards the middle, and then give it a good crease with your bone folder. Okay. Then you're going to fold over these 2 long score lines, and again give them a good crease. And then this one, like so. Okay, then this mountain fold. So this is folded forward. This one is going to be folded back, and you want to give that a good score, like that. Okay. Then you want to push these together. These 2 points of the mountain fold here, you're going to push those together and bring that forward like that. And then just try to match up those corners and use your bone folder to make those score lines really good. Okay. Let me know with a thumbs up or a quick comment that you managed to get yours folded okay. And this is what it looks like from the side. The other side, and the back, and the front. Everybody doing okay? Okay, Noreen's got hers. How about you, Susan? Did you get yours folded? Because I don't want to go any further till I know that everybody's okay here. Okay, good. All right. I know that Lisa isn't with us right now, but... All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put our, add our cap to this part here. So you have 2 parts to your cap. There's a slightly larger 3-inch square, and then one that's a little bit smaller, a 2 7/8 inch square. Okay. So we're going to start by getting the 3-inch square, and we want to glue that right on. It's going to match the edges of that one, but we only want to glue it onto this triangle here. I hope you can see that. Okay, just onto this triangle here. So the best thing to do is just to add our adhesive to that triangle. I think I'm going to use some liquid glue for that. And then I'm going to line this up with that whole diamond shape. Make sure that's straight. And then just use my bone folder to make sure that's sticking properly. Okay. And there's the first part of our cap. All right, now this part is going to be added with dimensionals, but I think what we'll do first is get the rest of the stuff on it. So we need to have the tassel, and there's a little button that goes on with it, a little circle. Just going to dump all these all out. There we go. So this little button is going to go on over top of that, and then our numbers. Okay, so this is sideways, and we want, how's that going to go? Yeah, so we want this to go up above and leave room for the numbers below there. So basically we're going to put a glue dot up near the top there, I think, to hold that. And then another glue dot right near the center where this is. But we want to make sure that we've got room for the 2. And the 0 underneath. Keep having to visualize this going sideways here. I think it's a good idea to just place everything where you want it first, so you know how it's going to look. Oh, okay, so this is the triangle here. So you just want to put on the other side of this triangle, you're going to put adhesive right here. And then you're just going to match the square up here, but there'll only be glue on this part of the triangle. So it'll only stick on that one part, Susan. Does that make sense? So that part of it will stick up. Okay. Okay, good. All right. So let's go back here. Maybe we should just glue on our numbers first. I'm going to get out my take your pick tool. Oh, I don't have it with me, darn. Well, in that case, I'll have to use my trusty tweezers. So I'm going to pick up the first number here and add some tiny dots of glue. I'm going to do this where you can see what I'm doing. Just make sure you shake the glue down into the tip of the dispenser so that you get just tiny dots so you don't have to squeeze it hard, because once you squeeze it hard, it's all going to come out at once. And that's the last thing you want. And place it where I want it. All right, I'll do the 0, same thing. Shake it down there. Just add tiny dots of glue. When you're dealing with foil, you don't want a lot of glue squishing out and getting on the foil, because that makes it look like really a mess and you can't do much about it. Well, you can, but it takes a little bit of elbow grease. Okay. Okay, gonna shake it down. That's more glue dots. Glue dots. Dots of glue, not glue dots. Oh dear, that really came out fast. I don't know what was going on with that. What were you thinking, glue? I was getting very little glue out, so I'm thinking there was a blockage in there or something. It was just fine for this purpose, but once it came out, it really came out. Even that's a lot. Disaster. Especially with foil. Okay. Hopefully I saved it. So I want that at about the same level as the other two. Yeah, still a lot of glue on there. Take my glue eraser to this later, maybe. Or let it dry and see what happens. Okay, I'm going to give my tweezers a wipe. Okay. And let's see what happens here. Hopefully the glue will control itself. Even that is big. It's tiny, tiny. Hardly any pressure. It must have been frustrated trying to come out. Now it's overeager. Okay. We'll put that right about there. Get back up there. Okay. Are you straight? No, you're not. Okay, I think we've got it. Now, what we need to do is get some glue dots. We're going to put one right in the middle. Where I'm going to glue the edge of the string. What is it? The edge of the string for the tassel. And then one on the edge where I'm going to put my tassel. Where am I going to put it? Did I get it on there? Been doing a lot of crafting today, so my eyes are not seeing properly. Okay, So I'm going to put that there. So we want the string of the tassel behind the knot. And then we'll stick this on here. And if we've got excess that's going to stick out behind the little button when we put it on, then we can just trim that off. I hope I make sense. Sometimes my wording is a bit weird. Okay, now on this we need a dimensional. And I definitely need a new package of dimensionals here. Those are small. I want big. You know what? I think I'm going to use a black dimensional for this. It would make sense, wouldn't it? Let's put it on this side. I think that's the back side. And we'll mount that right in the middle. Now I just need to see if I can get some of that off, because I do not have my it's so annoying. I don't have my eraser with me either. There we go. Okay, that'll do for now. All right, now I'm going to use black dimensionals. White ones will do too. They won't really show, but if you have black dimensionals, that could be a bonus. So I'm going to add these to the back side. Going to get the 4 corners. And then I'm going to come into the middle like this to support it in the middle. And then peel off the backings. Like so. And then I'm going to center this so that it reads like that. And add that to the cap. There we go. Let's straighten out that tassel a little bit. To make this tassel, I wondered if I added that. No, I guess not. To make the tassel, what you do is you wind the twine. I wound it around about 12 times around my finger, and then pulled it off my fingers, held it together, and wound it around without cutting it or anything. I just wound it around the top 1/4 inch, and then I added a little glue, liquid glue, and then round it around like that. And then I looped it to make that loop there and add a little more glue to the back and let it dry a little bit. And then I slipped my scissors into the loops at the bottom and just cut them like that. That's how I made the tassels for you. That's baker's twine there. Okay, now we need to add the bottom here. This is the anchor, sort of, so we want it to be up a little bit. That's why I gave you a piece of this foam adhesive. And so you just want to put this on the back of that black rectangle I gave you. And then mount that on this piece here at the bottom. Give it about 1/16 of an inch border on the bottom 3 sides, right in here. Okay. Then we're going to add a piece of foil, and I'm just going to use some seal adhesive here so that I don't have to deal with liquid glue again. And center that on this black adhesive. So it's about 1/8 of an inch on the ends, and oh great, I must have glue on my fingers. Okay, so basically to get that off, if you use any kind of cloth, but microfiber is really good, just rub those bits of it where you've got adhesive there, and you can get it clean again. You can't try, adhesive eraser won't work. Let's see if I can get those, just using my shirt. Yeah, so that took care of it pretty well. All right, so now we're going to do the sentiment on this piece. There's 2 white pieces, one is larger and one is smaller. This larger one is going to be for the very back, right back here, and that's for people to write on, okay? If you want to write to whoever's receiving the card, that's simply what that's for. This one is to put our sentiment on with. So I've got it up here. This is from the Celebrate Sunflowers stamp set, and we're going to use Let's Celebrate You on there. So we're going to emboss it in gold. How's everybody doing? Am I going too fast? Give me a sign. While I'm waiting, I'm just going to use my embossing buddy on this. Get off the oils and static. Okay. Then we need to use Versamark ink. Okay, good, thanks, Noreen. So I'm just inking that up with the Versamark and checking for edges. Okay, I think we're good. And now we will stamp this. I gotta get my head in there because it's a little tricky to fit it all on. Okay. And we're going to get the gold embossing powder out here. And I'm going to use my tweezers again. And I think I need some more gold embossing powder. There we go. And we're just going to use my heat tool to get that heat set. There it goes. You see that turning? Okay. All right, this one, I think, so let me check. Yeah, we're just going to put some seal on that and glue it right down to the gold foil. Just a couple lines of seal. Glue that right onto the gold foil. Okay, so you can see that that's almost finished now, and that just tucks under there, like so. Just Still mad at that part there. And now, just before we finish, we're going to add this piece of white cardstock so that you can write a greeting on. Personalize it. And again, we'll use our seal. And add that right to the back here. Okay. So this will fold up and go right in the envelope, as you see. Card number 2. Okay. I'm going to just tidy up. Grab yourselves something to drink or munch on while I get that tucked away. I'm going to need my gold embossing powder out and my Versamark. So I'm going to leave those out. Let's clean that stamp off here. Now we're going to work with the Simply Elegant set. Sweet. What did I do? Oh, here we are. And I don't know, did any of you for the white pieces? Oh, those are the stitched rectangle dies. Noreen, you're talking about our last card, the graduation card? Or were you talking about the tuxedo one? If you're talking about the tuxedo one, that was the suit and ties dies. Suit and tie dies, yeah, okay. All right, this is from that Simply Elegant suite. This is the Elegantly Said stamp set, which is what we're going to use. So as I said, hopefully you have some kind of flourish. Either you have this set or you have some kind of flourishy thing that you could use. Oh, the graduation card. Yeah, that's Suit and Ties dies. All right. So we'll get started with this one. This DSP, Simply Elegant DSP, is, I don't know, I love it. It's one of my favorite ones. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I was excited. Okay, so let's start with all this stuff. We'll start by folding our black card base. Okay, then we're going to add this specialty DSP. And our adhesive. Okay, and I don't want to wreck the DSP, so I'm just going to use my bone folder on the inside there. Okay, now we have 2 strips that I want, the inch wide strips that I want to add. And we're just going to glue them on. They're a little bit longer, a titch longer, but I so often find that if I cut them exactly the same length, all of a sudden they're a bit shorter. So if they go over a wee bit, that's okay, or you can trim them. Actually, these fit just perfectly. Excuse me, I need a drink. Got a tickle in my throat. All right, so I'm going to start with this one because I want it on the bottom. And I'm going to start with it about a quarter, maybe 3/8 of an inch from the edge. Make sure that's straight all the way down. And then this second strip. And I'm not leaving a lot of that other one showing, maybe a 1/4 inch. Okay. Got that. Hey, Kim. Glad you're watching. I saw the video with Ariel and the ambassadors. That's pretty cool. Okay, so now we're going to do the main image for the front. Yeah, Great Gatsby, that's what it made me think of too. Sort of that Art Deco style. Okay, so the first thing we need to do, because this is all embossed in gold, is give it a good work over with the embossing buddy. And then we have this gorgeous corner flourish. So that's going to be in Versamark. And I turned this over on its back to ink it up with the Versamark because it's pretty large. Sure don't have any edges inked up here. Okay, and I'm going to position that up in the corner here. Get a good stamp on there. And we're going to cover that with the gold embossing powder first before we stamp the sentiment. A little bit where I don't want it, but that's pretty good. I always put the lid back on so I don't have any disasters. Okay, and now we'll heat set. And there it goes. It's always magic to me. just want to make sure that I've got everything embossed. I believe I do. Okay. And the next one we're going to do is the sentiment. True love stories last forever. So this would be good for either a wedding or an anniversary. Be great for either. Okay, and we'll put that one right near the bottom here. Just checking the, yeah, this one is really straight along the bottom of the rubber, so I can be pretty confident that if that's, if the rubber is straight, then this is going to be straight too. Okay. Even though the label wasn't straight, this time the stamp was straight. So you could say that I'm not a very good label assembler, but sometimes it's just the labels themselves that are off. Okay, now this one is on dimensionals. So, because I'm short of white dimensionals, I think it's going to be black dimensionals on here. Although I could use the edges of these ones. Maybe that's what I'll do. Do you ladies use all your edges up? I'm going to put these two that are in the middle, the two that are real in the middle, and then I'm just going to use these corners like so. Oh, that's going to be too long, I think. Yeah, so I'll just strip that off, and then we'll put this right along the top like that. And let's see how this works. Put this down this other side. You get really good coverage this way. And this along the bottom. And that way you use up all the parts of your dimensionals. Oops. Usually that comes off very easily. You just peel it right off. And the two in the middle. And then you've got a really secure vertical pop-up here. Okay, and then just center that on your card front, like so. And then you've got a bow and some embellishments. So the bow is going to go with a glue dot. I'm just going to place a glue dot right on the knot of the bow. Oops, I skipped one. And where did I put it on the other one? Oh, that's odd. Oh, right about here. There. And then you can play around with those little cords. If they're not going the way you want them to go, just twist them a little bit and get them to curve the way you want them to. Yes, isn't it, Elaine? It's just beautiful, DSP. One of my favorites. And then I used these black diamonds. I don't know if you can still get them. They may be retired now, unfortunately. But I had them, so I gave them to you. There are some black matte dots that you can order that would work. Do about the same thing. But I didn't want to put these to waste, so we'll put that one over here. And this one somewhere down here. You can put them where they look best to you. And then one large rhinestone. And that's going to go over here somewhere. And that, my dears, is the very last card in our formal event here. So you've got a wedding card, a graduation card, and a Father's Day card. And I hope you enjoyed all of them. I enjoyed making them with you. And I will get that uploaded to YouTube. If not tonight, then tomorrow. And I'll send that link to you so that you can do them in your leisure time, at your own pace. Okay? I hope you all had a good time. And I would love to craft with you again soon. Okay. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.